was shot in the head, chest, and stomach.
In Florida, we've had, as the governor mentioned, quite a lot of success in the 2 stores that we have operating on Interstate 95. We've known that 75 would be a great interstate for a long time, looking for the right piece of property. And so when we realized that there was an opportunity that this entirely new interchange would be created, then it really opened our eyes for the opportunities here. I want to say all of the reasons that the governor mentioned earlier is exactly why businessmen, businesses like us want to be in Florida. And so I just can't say enough about a pro-business state and what that does, the jobs it brings, the construction, the tax base. And so this state is a heavy in tourism, and so it's really nice when we have people travel.
You know, I've got to follow some of the elections outside of Florida because it affects Florida. This Chicago mayor, people are going to flee Chicago in even greater numbers. We are going to get more refugees as a result of that. Because it's like, you know, you see what's not working and you go even further in that direction. You know, you just wonder, like, what is going on? But there's no question that I think you're going to continue to see it downward there. And I think you're going to see people, we've had massive businesses move out of there into Florida, into Texas, some other places. But I think you're going to see probably more residents would be my guess. And you know, so we monitor these things just because you see the result. I mean, that will be very apparent. Okay, finally we have Laura DeBella from Enterprise, Florida.
Thank you so much, Governor DeSantis. Thank you for your leadership. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I get to bring it home today, and he's not kidding. We have businesses flocking to us right now. So I have the honor and the pleasure, under the guidance of Governor DeSantis, to run the Chief Economic Development arm for the state, Enterprise Florida Public-Private Partnership, that is just jamming and going gangbusters and works collaboratively with everybody here in this room to ensure that our economic fabric of the state continues and remains as robust, if not more, than it already is. So speed to market is the name of the game in economic development, and that is not only in terms of site readiness as being able to go vertical when we have someone looking at a particular area, but it also applies to the ingress and egress of all the transportation aspects that a certain industry would need, be it distribution, manufacturing, corporate headquarters, you name it. The businesses that are intended to occupy this area, thanks to this interchange, will depend heavily on interstate and regional movement to transport their raw materials and their finished goods around the state and beyond. This project will construct a diverging diamond interchange and conduct improvements to an intersection to support economic viability of Ocala 489, a 489 industrial and commercial development, which is a Florida enterprise zone and the first CSX site in Florida. For those that aren't familiar with what a CSX site means, it is a select site that identifies properties and they vet them as accessible locations, identify them as very appropriate locations for manufacturing facilities along the CSX rail network. It's very critical and very important that this was identified here, and it's going to speak volumes to the amount of business activity that this area will see. The Ocala 489 is intended to serve as an economic engine for job creation in the region and is envisioned as a strategic inland central hub for freight-related traffic, joining the likes of FedEx Ground, Florida Crossroads Logistics Center, Chewy, who have also completed new facilities within the Ocala 489. The construction of the interchange will also support the economic viability of the Ocala-Marion County Commerce Park, as you already heard, and the World Equestrian Center to the west, which I still need to go see one of these days. And we've heard it enough. Who doesn't love Buc-ee's? That is absolutely going to be one of the biggest feathers to our cap in here. Can't say enough about how much transportation means to everything that involves economic development, especially economic development that has massive multiplier effects, which is manufacturing, which is absolutely what is looking in this area. So this is so instrumental. Governor, thank you. Secretary Perdue, thank you. Everybody here involved, thank you. This means everything. Congratulations, Marion County.
Who wants some? You guys got to try some. Pass them out. All right. There you go. Anybody else? There you go. Here. Try it and tell me if you like it. Open it up and try. Okay, we got some more. These things are kind of addicting, so I'm just saying beware. All right, I got one more. All right, let's do the chat. Come on. Get Beaver right here. And we'll get the mayor right here. You get right in here.
I know.
All right. Here we go. You guys can take that. Good job. Thanks so much. Yep, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks. Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Are they good? Are the Beaver Nuggets good? Yes. Aren't they good? Yes. Good. Okay. Yeah. You guys can take the other stuff too. There's they do their own beef jerky. They do a bunch of good stuff. But I think those are definitely, you just keep eating and eating and eating, and that's just the way it is. So, all right. Well, we're excited about this project. We've got more in the pike, but this one will be really good. So, with that, take a question. Anyone got questions back there? Anybody? Yes. Okay. So I think so this is the issue at Disney, they had self-government in this state for almost 60 years. We put a stop to that. We ended their self-governing status. And as that transition from a corporation running its own government to a state control board, taking that and actually governing that based on the will of the people, they tried to do things that, quite frankly, were underhanded, doing like some development agreement at the last minute that was supposedly going to bind the district. First of all, this is self-dealing. They're negotiating with themselves. You can't do that. So there's a provision of Florida law where the legislature can void that. I think that the state board's going to void it too. So on both ends, I think that'll be taken care of. But what the speaker said and what I've said is now that this has been reopened, all options are on the table. We need to make sure that people understand, whether you're an individual or you're a corporation, that you don't get to play by your own rules. That the people of the state of Florida ultimately are the sovereign. They elect people to fill these offices and enact policy. And I think Disney has always viewed itself as being exempt from that constitutional process. Well, those days are over here in the state of Florida. So I think there'll be a discussion on a wide range of opportunities to be able to make sure that this state control board is able to do the things that I've always said. Live under the same laws as everybody else, pay fair share of taxes, pay off all the municipal debt, and live under the same law. Now that we've gotten rid of self-government, you actually now have state agencies going in and doing inspections like they would do on any other business. So they're now subjected to all this. that they necessarily weren't. And the board, they got in probably about 6 weeks ago, maybe a little longer. They had to hire people, so there's been a little bit of a process. But I think what you're going to see is in the ensuing weeks, you're going to see a lot of very, very strong action that's going to basically validate what we said. But there will be additional legislative action taken in Tallahassee that will nullify what they tried to do at the 11th hour, and then potentially, arm the board with the ability, to make sure that this is run appropriately. Yes.
Has Trump's indictment at all affected your thoughts or plans on a possible run for president?
So it's affected me in the sense that it's reinforced this problem we have in our country, where we have the political left weaponized, actually abandoning the rule of law by weaponizing it and using against people they don't like. And that needs to stop in this country. And
provision whatsoever.
Manake jamaa amekataa kuongea na sisi. Sisi tumekuwa na 4. Kwanza tumesema tunataka